If it's about growth, grit, and game changing business moves, you hear it here. Welcome to the KEPSA podcast, where business meets bold, bold ideas, bold facts, and bold truths. So let's talk. And today we are joined by Mary Ngechu. In her profile, she says social entrepreneur, woman in manufacturing, and a sustainability ambassador, as well as someone who's very passionate about sustainable jobs and social development. Am I right?
Yes.
I may not have done justice to who you are clearly, but please introduce yourself. Who is Mary Ngechu?
So thank you very much, and thank you for having me. Ngechu. Ngechu. First, I think I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a woman. But as you have said, I'm very passionate about sustainability. I'm the group managing director of Line Plus Group. In Line Plus Group, I like to say it's an ecosystem of businesses, a family of businesses, with my effort trying to close the loop, create value, and create sustainability in what I've created as a family legacy. So the businesses are owned by me and my husband, and I've currently also been able to onboard my son, two of my sons. They are working with me. We have done this for nearly the last 20 years. And our first business was Line Art Solution, where we are doing label printing. This was started by my husband, and he started it when I was still working. I used to work for Telecom Kenya. I'm a trained telecommunication engineer. Then several years down the line, looking at doing labels and selling to manufacturers, different businesses, I saw the gap of doing packaging, and we started manufacturing packaging and registered a company called Plast Packaging. Before Plast Packaging, I had started a business with my brother. So my family and my brother's family, and we started a packaging company called Power Plast. We wanted to create something that was powerful. But down the line, we separated the businesses for growth so that we can be able to focus on different sectors. My brother still ran his packaging business, and then me and my husband now started the Plast Packaging. So running now the labels and the packaging, these are the plastic container, the plastic bottles that we sell to different industries. We are huge on the pharmaceutical industry, the cosmetic industry, the food and beverage, and oil and lube, and agrochemical manufacturing. So manufacturers, we supply them now with the labels and the packaging that they require. And then down the line, I thought about having a product in the market. And I started a cosmetic manufacturing line that is called Aroma Care. So the Line Plus Group is a synergy of Line Art Solution that does the label printing, Plast Packaging that does the plastic packaging manufacturing, and Aroma Care that is doing cosmetics. And we're also doing cleaning and disinfecting solutions for industries.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Super social entrepreneurship right there. And speaking about family run and family started businesses, yours has been such a natural integration. Though you started off as a corporate employee, right? And then how has that journey been from transitioning to where you didn't have to take care of so many business decisions? I am sure the experience was different. How has that transition been for you?
Well, I think it has been a very interesting journey. And I will not say that when we started our first business, I had a plan of creating several other businesses.
I was gonna ask about
Sometimes these things, they just come naturally
yes.
with a personal strength. When I started Line Art Solution with my husband, Plus Packaging was a synergy to increase value or to build value for our customer so that we can be able to give them a complete packaging solution. And Aroma Care, again, a vertical integration so that we can maximize that we have the packaging. How do you then have a product? And by the time I was starting Aroma Care, I had grown myself into leadership, and I was exposed now into different opportunities like the Free Africa Continental Trade, And I used to keep wondering, how do I leverage on this exposure of trade agreements that now I am aware about? And then I thought I need to come up with a product that I can be able to send it to the market. You can imagine working for Telecom Kenya for 15 years with a background of telecommunication engineering, no background at all on entrepreneurship.
Or manufacturing.
Or manufacturing. I think, but the boldness of engineering, telecommunication, when you're doing your engineering, telecommunication, then I had a full exposure to engineering. So that gave me strength of really loving to see or to interact with the machinery. An interesting journey of maybe how I've grown the businesses is how I've purchased our manufacturing. And I always remember one time I was in a forum that was done then. I think it was Equity Bank that they used to have a business club for their I think premium customers. I think they had a club, and I was sitting in a class or in a session, and there's one of our KEPSA members. I could name him. This was Vimal Shah. And he says that sometimes cheap is very expensive.
Yes.
And that time I was struggling with how we had bought our machinery when we started, because we didn't have money. So we went to China and got exposed into machineries for manufacturing the packaging. We bought machineries, but they were very expensive to maintain because every time they were breaking down. And I'm not saying that the machineries from China are not good. I think it's how we sourced, because we were doing sourcing priority with pricing.
Okay.
So depending
Not
on what,
quality.
not quality, it was what we can afford.
Yes.
And what we could afford then that time meant that the quality was compromised. But also the fact that I had not done manufacturing before and I had not interacted with the machinery, the maintenance and the system and the schedules that we would look into preventive maintenance, we didn't know, or we didn't understand that. And there was a huge language barrier on how to translate or to transfer knowledge from China to Kenya by that time. And we really struggled. So I had to almost do like a new reinvestment of new machinery and source better. And I'm still sourcing machines from China.
Still.
But I know
But now
how
you
to
know
source
where,
better.
which, yeah.
And I also know how to interact with my suppliers. And we are able to work and have very good working procedures.
And a very expensive lesson along the
And a very expensive lesson along the way. Something else that I did during that time when I was growing the business, because I realized my staff need to be trained. So I started an apprenticeship program within the organization. And that apprenticeship program earned me a recognition by the UN as a UN Person of the Year. That was 2017 on decent job creation. So supported to really by ILO and NITA to come up with a fully accredited apprenticeship program. And then for every machine that I bought, I partnered with my machine supplier to send me an engineer to train my staff
for the handover
process. Not just the handover, but operation. And that really were tough decisions and learnings. So for manufacturer, the learnings are there, but you have to know who to partner with. You have to know what to ask and what you need, so that then you can be able to build a sustainable business. I have now grown a business that I'm employing about 400 people.
Impressive.
Yes.
And we will come back to that because I want to also understand, the decisions that, of course, I think you've touched a bit on that, including the training, the empowerment. But even today, from the difference between then when you were hiring and now that you have learned the lessons that you have learned, what are some of the things that you're looking at when you're hiring a personnel? We'll come to that. But for now,
Yes.
I want to know, for your husband, when you're joining the business, what was his reception? Was it that an agreement between the two of you, or did you go and say, you know what, darling, it's time?
So I think my husband was the first one to stop working, and he was working for a company that was doing label printing. So he had exposure in the printing business. And this is then how we started the printing as the first business. But because we didn't have resources and money to employ, so I came in to support him. So I came in as a support system. So my work was administration, to sit in the office when he's going out there to look for work. But I kept on feeling like this is not enough. I need to also stand out and come out. So I did the finances, I did the HR as he went out there. Then we have very unique strengths that complement each other. So leveraging on his strength and my strength, then we were able to concretize the business. I'm more the structure, the visionary person. He's more the operation. He's a hands-on person. So he gets things done. And he doesn't really delegate things to be done. He walks onto the floor and makes sure that things are being done. But then me, I'll imagine what it could be. I will go out there, I'll source, I deliver it, and then he actualizes the actual work to be done. So I think that complementary strength and being aware of that has really helped. And then also the journey, I remember attending a training on business at the Strathmore Business School. And when I went there, it was very interesting when we learned that you need to have a business plan, you need to have a strategy. And I think my business plan, my strategy was in my head,
not on paper.
and not on paper. And also with my husband, we used to sit and make decisions, not necessarily informed by data or the things that are running, because we see there's an opportunity and by instinct we think this is a good idea and then we move. And this is something that all the entrepreneurs they do. I think all the businesses that we have created is observing, seeing a gap and looking into it, and then we feel it. And we quickly feel it's I think it's a strength for entrepreneurs, but also by the time the businesses are growing, if you're not careful with those impulse, instinct, decision
you're
making,
constantly on the for the next one, not taking a moment to rethink what exactly you're doing.
Yes.
But has that changed now that you can remain with still doing that kind of what is the next gap? How do we feel it now that you have a team that can now think strategy and implement the paperwork and stuff like that?
Yes, I think as the businesses have grown, I've also grown myself. And I've intentionally grown myself by attending a lot of trainings, executive courses, and also being in the places where business people are. Because you also learn by knowing what the others are doing and learning from their mistake and seeing how it is that you can be able to improve. I want to maybe give you a bit of my background of my education. When I finished my high school, I didn't attain grades to go to a university. So you can imagine I had almost like a self-sabotaging situation
at
that
at a younger age.
At a younger age that I'm not good enough. So not very good, but I think what that did for me, it created for me an urge to keep wanting to learn more, to build more. But sometimes not being aware, you can also overdo things. One of the things that also has done for me is to almost like over prepare, not being sure whether I'm ready to move or to make the next move.
Do you still have that voice of
I don't
the
have
young girl
it
that
comes a lot, but when I hear it, I know it, and I'm able to realign it, to reassure myself. It's a lot of work that I've done, and it's a lot of work that a lot of entrepreneurs they get through that. I'm in manufacturing. I didn't have a background of manufacturing. I am feeling like I didn't get a degree, so I was not enough. So I started my executive courses. I remember when I was doing my owner management program in Strathmore, and allow me to say Dr. Patricia Murugami, then I was telling her that I want to go to the university so that I get a degree. And she actually sat me down and asked me, and then after that, and after that, and after that. So I realized really I need to get my degree. I later managed to get my degree in business administration. But really what helped me is not the degree paper, is executive courses that I have done. And I've done those executive courses with the steps and the stages of my business. I'm not a finance person, but I have a full finance department. So I needed to train myself to understand finances so that I can relate with my department. I can be able to guide because I'm the leader. I'm the business owner. So if I don't know what I need to guide them on, then they cannot be able to grow. I have an engineering background, but processes and structures, I didn't have that. So I've been able to empower myself and create systems and structures, and more so create leaders in my business so that I can be able to delegate. And then I'm able to grow the business. But delegating also come with a founder syndrome of losing control,
Yeah.
building trust.
And you do not, you at some point you feel like
Yes.
there are things that I really want to do
Yes.
myself, the same
Yes.
way you said your husband.
Yes.
There are things that he wants to be the ones that is handy.
Yes.
And I think that is something we struggle with, most of us. And I don't know, maybe it could be from an entrepreneurship perspective. I have struggled with it at some point, letting go and trusting and believing that the next person you delegate to is going to handle it to the expectations that you have. But like you have said, it comes with leadership. And I think something you might want to touch on, whether you have learned something between managing the team, managing the business, and actually being a leader.
So and you have said it, feeling like I am the only person who can be able to do it, because I'm in control of my output. How do I control the output of the other person? And I want that to be perfect so that I'm able to grow my business. I really want to protect whatever it is that I'm trying to grow. So I think in the leadership space, I've done a lot of self-awareness trainings. I've done that through coaching and mentorship, and knowing how to really grow and be authentic in my leadership and also allow others to grow. It has not been an easy journey because I have grown myself, but I am learning a family business where it is me and my husband. After I did my Strathmore Business School, the next thing I did was to recommend for him, and he went to Strathmore Business School. So got the learnings, and we got clarity of what is my role, what is his role in the business, and the respect that he makes decisions, I make decisions in my role and my capacity. So even bringing in people now to and being aware that I cannot be an expert of everything. And if I am creating something that has to grow beyond me, I need to bring in experts who can be able to grow the business. And yes, today I have people who are experts in different areas. I sit with them, they are my leadership team. We think together for the business, and we get the strategy of growing the business together. I remember one of the things that I really struggled with was those ones of like, I have an engineer who is very, very good, an expert in the engineering. But do I make him my manager? And he has zero people management skills.
Yeah.
Do I train him to be with the people management skills? So creating those professional lines and people management or management lines within the business was one of the learnings that I had to learn how to do that. And then also knowing there's a book that I walked through with one of my coaches called the E-Myth. The entrepreneur, knowing that you are an entrepreneur today, you are a manager, and you're also the vision bearer.
Everything in one.
Yes. So you can be the technician, you can be the manager, and you can also be the entrepreneur. So knowing which hat to wear when, I think those are some of the learnings that I have grown myself to understand.
In any business, and particularly a family-run business, succession is something that clearly cannot be avoided. And I'm happy to hear that you mentioned your son is now already being onboarded. How is he taking it? What is your vision for him? What are the conversations like? Is he in a generation that embraces such family line businesses, or is it that one of, well, me, I want my own path?
So I think what I've done again with the exposure and learning of different areas of how to do succession planning, because I really want to grow a business that grows beyond me, is understanding that I have my own vision, I have my own purpose. My husband has his own vision and his purpose, and also the same with my children. Then how do you create an ecosystem that can serve everybody's purpose? So what I've done with my son, who also did engineering. He's done mechatronic and robotics.
Okay.
And my other son also did electrical and electronics. I remember my firstborn son used to say that because when he was young and all these machines were breaking down, I was always stressed. The dad was always stressed. I think he wanted to do engineering so that he can come and help us. He can come and help me up. But at one particular time, I don't think he had an interest of the business. But to be sincere, how we are running our businesses and how we are managing our businesses and our children are educated are completely two different things. There is no child or my son who is well educated with a master's who wants to come and see a business that doesn't have systems and structures. So if it is me with my diary writing things, making those decisions not from an informed decision, they will shy away. If every time I get home and I'm stressed, the business is not making money, so it's nothing for them to admire to come. So
Very
being
true.
intentional in making them aware of the good and the difficulties of the business, making them being part of it has helped me. And apart from that, also creating a clear path for him. He's done mechatronic and robotics. So when he came back, we did not have a structured IT department. So the first role I gave him was to structure for us the IT department. That helped him to even understand the system. We needed to install an ERP system so that we can manage the businesses. So we went for SAP, a system that is complex, and with my engineering background, he's much better. So he had to learn and understand it so that he can be able to do the process mapping for all the processes, and then he's able to literally digitize all the system. So he loved it. It aligned with what he had been learning. And because he's done mechatronic and robotics, no, he's automating the systems of how it is that we are doing. So he has found his own path within the business that we are having. Sometimes we have tough times when he tells me that, Mom, you can't make this decision. I don't think it's right. So I've also learned to sit and listen, and also know that he's living the world of today. And he can see the future much more than I may be able to see the future. So I may have the experience. I have grown myself into some wisdom that I can be able to guide him, but also understanding and accepting that he could be more learned.
One person.
He could be more learned into the technology of today than me, and he can be able to contribute that. So my firstborn son is fully integrated. He's the head of our technical department and innovations. And then recently we have made him to be the head of our growth strategy. So my growth strategies, he's the one who is leading that.
I wish him the very best. I know he will nail it. Takataka ni mali.
Yes.
You have not mentioned that yet.
Yes.
At what point of your there's a gap and we have a solution, or we can find a solution journey, did Takataka ni mali come in, and what was the vision around it? How is it coming to life?
So I talked about purpose, and business could be commercial, but you must find a way of how it is that you line your purpose with your commercial businesses. And Takataka ni mali for me is my purpose journey. And my purpose journey, why it's not about money, it's about creating impact. And because we are manufacturing packaging, it then means that we have a lot of packaging waste that is going to the environment through our clients. When I was recognized by the UN in the year 2017 for decent job creation, it was to note that we are manufacturing plastics, and we're also manufacturing paper that is going in terms of packaging, but ends up into the environment. So I made a commitment to be an environment ambassador, and it was that time that Takataka ni mali was born. Working and helping to educate people that there's value in waste. Because I'm an entrepreneur, I'm not an environmentalist. So what we have really tried to do is to show the value that can be obtained from waste. And hence Takataka ni mali. Waste is wealth. So what I've been doing, or what I've done since that time, is to create enterprises within the waste management ecosystem. So we've done a lot of training, creating community-based organization And the community-based organizations, we create them, we train them on sorting and separating, and then we link them to the buyers of the what then you are looking at waste, but that now are recyclables, that is raw material for the other industry. And because I was also recognized by Ernst & Young in the year 2018 as Entrepreneur of the Year finalist in the women category. And then I joined in that time the Ernst & Young family. So they have a program that they call the EY Repo. And the EY Repo, what they do is to give pro bono services to the EY family. Now, being one of their alumni, I was exposed to them, and they introduced me to another organization that they had partnered with the UK government, that is FCDO, Ernst & Young, and Unilever. So then with the Takataka Nimali, then because we are registered as a not-for-profit, they gave us grants to scale it. And one of the conditions that they also wanted me to do is that to also create it to be sustainable. Not just to receive grants, consume grants, and then when you don't get grants tomorrow, you close it.
Yes.
So worked through, supported by them, and this is Unilever and Ernst & Young, thinking through a business model that could be sustainable. And because I have heavy industries, I was careful on what I want to do with Takataka Nimali. So I was very clear that I do not want to do heavy recycling, because recycling is a whole industry. I'm already processing. So I needed to look into that ecosystem where I fit in. And because we are producing, we are converting plastics into packaging, then I supported, or I've been supporting the collection of or recovery of the plastics. Then I work with the people who are recycling. I work closely with Mr. Green.
So the collection, is it only for the packaging that you produce, or even others?
Yes, it's for others, because for me, it's an economic opportunity. People make money from what you are looking in at as waste. So we don't make money in the organizing of the collectors. We only do the trainings for them. So that has been a lot of CSR from the group, and then also supported by the other partners that we are working with. So identifying the groups and training them and linking them. So I've worked with Mr. Green a lot, and Mr. Green then will link the people who are collecting plastics to Mr. Green. Then Mr. Green will do the recycling. Then as Plast packaging, we come back and buy the recycled plastics from Mr. Green. Then we are able then to make packaging that goes back now to our customers who do not necessarily need packaging that is made from virgin plastics. So that has been the ecosystem that I've created.
There's a certain percentage of recycled content in what you produce.
Yeah.
Have you still already achieved 100% recycled content?
We have products that we do up to 30%, and we are also 100% recycling our own waste within the factory. Then we buy from Mr. Green, what I've said. There are industries that don't require someone to use virgin plastics, especially the chemical, where you're making containers that are packing chemical, and they are not necessarily food grade that would be harmful. We have quite a number of clientele that we are doing to the level of maybe, let me say, 80% of recycled plastics. And we have a project that we are working on now where we can be able to do 100% recycled plastics. If you are aware, we have now Kenya Bureau standards that have given guidance on recycled component on how. So that helps us now to be able to identify and push the use of recycled plastics. So that is what I've been doing. But for Takataka Nimali itself to be sustainable, we have developed 2 digital platforms. And the digital platform, one of the platform, we call it Ecomali. And Ecomali, what we are trying to do is to help businesses to track their waste. In my effort of Takataka Nimali and trying to help people collect waste, I realized that some businesses, and not some, most businesses don't even know where their waste end. So you pay a waste collector, but after they collect the waste, you don't know where that waste ends up. And because we are really trying to make sure that waste doesn't go to the landfill or to the dump site, we want waste to be recovered. And we have now an advantage of Kenya with a new law of the extended producer responsibility and the sustainable waste management. So we have developed a digital platform, Ecomali, that is supporting businesses to trace and to know where that waste is actually going.
Okay.
And then that helps them to meet their compliance requirement by NEMA or other regulatory. But we're also going further by picking that data and integrating that data with our next digital platform that we call EcoLoop, which is a data management system for ESG reporting, impact reporting, and sustainability reporting. So really what I'm trying to do is to give value into what businesses would look at CSR from a data perspective. How do you create data value in your sustainability reporting, impact reporting? This is a carbon footprint that you're trying to reduce. So those are the things that we are now doing as Takataka ni Mali.
Wow, Mary, from the girl who once doubted herself, her value, to what you have created, it's if you wouldn't mind me calling it an empire, or at least towards that journey, it is impressive. But one thing I've learned is that wewe ni mtu wa kujituma. You've really sent yourself to grabbing those opportunities and also placing yourselves in rooms where you position yourself and your businesses in a way that they will create partnerships towards their growth. I also note that you hold other leadership positions, for instance, director of SMEs in KEPSA. And I don't know, is it because of the entrepreneurship journey that you have, taken and sharing your story over the years and now become a role model for many who are, taking that entrepreneurship journey? And as the director of SMEs at KEPSA, what are you seeing in terms of trends among the SMEs that you're actually working with?
So I think my role of leadership has been an intentional role. When I sat down and evaluated what would be my purpose. My purpose, I've talked about impact through Takataka ni Mali, but then also my other purpose is to be a role model and to create impact through leadership. I was able to sit and define what will be my voice in this leadership journey. So, and was very clear that I want to be a voice in the SME sector. I want to be a voice for the women, and then also to be a voice for sustainability, environmental through sustainability. So my journey for SME has been an intentional journey, and a lot of women are in the SME space. I started, me and my husband, and I've said as today we are employing 400 employees. In 400 employees, I'm serving the Kenya market. I'm also selling across the East Africa. So I can say I've been able to grow my businesses to a medium-sized business. So how do I share my learning of entrepreneurship? And who do I share my learning to? The reason then why the SME, the struggles that I have grown or I have faced growing my business, those are the areas that I have been trying to walk through or nurture the SMEs. I do a lot of mentorship, one-on-one mentorship for SMEs, just to share my learning so that they don't make the same mistakes that I've done. I've opened the doors of my businesses for SMEs quite a lot to come and visit, and I do a lot of industrial visits. Quite a number of SMEs in this country, they'll tell you that they've been able to come and visit my factories. And what I do when they visit my factories is to share the journey. Tell them that I have been that girl from the village with no manufacturing background, but I have been able to build what I have been able to build. Share with them that it is not stopping to learn.
What does it take?
It takes that boldness, resilience, knowing that today I will fall, but the mistake is if I remain down there. I have to wake up. If I don't shy off, is to show up. I have been intentional positioning myself in leadership. When I was called to be that time KEPSA, we started as an SME club, and I was called to be the chair for the SME. I can tell you I first said no because I was in service on the other side of KM. But being my purpose, I was asked then, Mary, if you really want to be a role model, to build your purpose in growing SME, take the leadership. So I took the leadership. and I've been on it. My focus for the SME at the KEPSA leadership role is to scale the SMEs. And I'm looking into those ones. KEPSA, we do policy. We advocate for policies that can help scale businesses that are cutting across. There's sector specific that are advocating for sector policies, but there are several other things that cut across. Right now at KEPSA, one of the things that I know we have really been focusing, especially with our GNUE program, GNUE growth program, is to catalyze money, catalyze training, and then also catalyze market. We've been working a lot in looking into what export markets do we open that are more suitable for SMEs, because I know as a country we are pushing for export, but SMEs are not accessing export. What do we do so that we can be able to unlock markets that SMEs can be able to access? And I think this really has been the focus that we are doing. The opportunities of what now we are calling the county aggregation hubs. How do we work with the government with these county aggregation hubs to direct or to organize that aggregation, so that aggregation can then go to export? How do you create an ecosystem, a whole value chain, whether from a cluster perspective, and give SME access for export? Apart from that access for export, we are saying that SMEs also don't access finances. So is it that they don't know how to do their books? I want to say no. But I think is that they have not been able to come out. Even the financiers have not been able to understand the SMEs. It's not about that they are not sure that they can be able to repay back, but how do you convince a financier that my strategy is in my head, my business plan is in my head, and I'm sure I can be able to pay?
Yeah.
How do you
A place that you have yourself
Yes.
been before and
Yes. Yes.
navigated.
Yes. So that's telling SMEs that really doing your book work will be able to help you to access the finances. There's another area of compliance. I've had a lot of SMEs saying that certification is expensive. Telling them that unless you are certified, when your product goes out there, the customer first get trust from the certification that they can be able to do that legitimacy, for them to understand, yes, it's expensive, but it is something that you must be able to do so that you can be able to access that market. Because when you are out there, the market will judge you as a product in the market. So you have to really understand what the customer is buying so that you're able to sell that. Making them understand that when you come into economy of scale, in terms of pricing, you may not compete with a commercially produced product, because they have economy of scales, so their production costs could be much lower than yours. So what unique story are you selling with your product? What are you telling the market? What are those unique selling points beyond the price that you can be able to give the client? And the client of today, when you talk about sustainability, they buy many things beyond the product, beyond the price. How do you understand to package yourself so that then you can be able to reach to that client who is actually buying more than price?
And with the age of social media and digital presence, we are not just looking at a local client; we are looking at a customer base that is global.
Yes.
And especially for SMEs, you mentioned that you yourself you're now exporting to the East African region, and you brought up the issue of the AFCTA. And I'm just wondering now that as we try to position the SMEs for especially the African market, is the market ready? Is the market open? Are the gaps being breached at this point?
So I want to change that question. The market is ready. The market is there. The question is, are the SMEs ready?
Perfect.
Are they packing their product to speak to that market? Are they aware on what the market would require? I'll give an example. When I started and I wanted to send my product to Congo, DLC Congo, and we had a tour from Kinshasa to Lubumbashi with my team, and I realized that products there, they are labeled in French. And French, as our labels here are in English. So I need to understand the dynamics of translating so that I can communicate to the client who is there. I'm doing cosmetics. then even their fragrance taste is different from our fragrance taste here. So I have to do a study to understand what do they prefer. So the question is, are the SMEs aware that I want to send my products to this country? What is the culture?
But also the willingness to actually get
Yes.
involved and
Yes.
invest in such
Yes.
studies and
Yes,
research.
yes. And I think those are the things that we are doing at KEPSA.
Okay.
When we do market access, and we have, whether it's a conference or it's a market, it's a learning place. But when you go, really, what are you learning? What are you looking out for? You need to know that I could be. I just got myself into a new business last year. I've not started talking about it, but allow me to talk about it.
Yes, please.
Where I've invested in a business in agriculture that we are calling a hub for agriculture value addition in Kwale.
Okay.
And when I bought that business, we were doing the old client, they were doing moringa. So you grow, you dry, and you powder and export moringa. So I'm already exporting moringa. And I was looking and understanding why did they go down. And now we are diversifying the crop. So I've introduced hibiscus, we've introduced chili, and we are now introducing herbs. So I'm fighting to understand what is this export requirement in terms of certification. So it's a journey that I'm excited about, and the learnings, how do I bring them back? So I am more keen than ever to understand this opportunity of export, of what we are calling the Africa Free Continental Trade. How do I access the West Africa market? How do I send my products there? How do I work with KEPSA to make things easy for my products and the other SMEs to go there? Yes. So the passion for me to scale SME is for the SME and me in front. As I'm accessing or breaking that barrier of understanding how to sell my products, then I carry all the other SMEs and share the learnings. So the question is, are the SMEs ready? Are our products ready for that market? Because when the product is on the shelf, nobody knows that this product is from an SME. They want a good product that is safe for them, a product that speaks to them. So we need to understand so that we know how to package the value proposition for the Africa market, which is different from every country. So we need to be aware.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with your new baby coming on board, clearly you'll be looking at a larger team even than the 400. If Josephine and Jane or whoever, Charles or anybody wanted to join your team, what are you looking for in terms of, you mentioned about skills, skills development. So I know you have already tackled the issue of the moment they are in the team, you development is key for you. So continuous growth, continuous skilling. But at the point of entry, what do you look out for in your team?
So very interesting. And I'll shock you because I look at only first three things. Before I look at your paperwork, I look at three things. I look at curiosity. I look at alignment. And I also look at curiosity, alignment, and I also look at the passion. Are you passionate with this kind of work? Why do you want to come and work with me? And the alignment is, I want to grow. Do you want to grow yourself, or are you coming because of a paycheck? And if you are not aligned, as I grow, you grow, then I know you're coming in because I'm paying you a salary at the end of the month. Curiosity is those ones of like, I know this, but am I ready to run more so that I can give more for the business that I'm working? And that passion that make you want to wake up every morning and come to me and come to work. Then apart from that, then you look at skills. And skills can be learned. You need to have a good set of skills, but those skills may not necessarily be aligned with me. So we do a lot of trainings to realign. When I was younger in business, how I employed, I looked at, do you know or do you have the skills on what I am doing? I give you an example. When I started manufacturing and we were doing plastic manufacturing, because I didn't know. So I was looking for people who have worked for other companies that are doing plastic manufacturing. So I poached.
Poaching.
I poached people. And what I did, I poached good and bad. I poached cultures of other organizations.
Yeah,
And
and
that
because
I-
you don't have your own culture
Yes,
established,
yes.
so they're bringing the different.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can imagine poaching from 5 companies and you have 5 culture for different people. And people get entitled into say, here we do this and this is how we do it. But when you get the right people and develop your own culture, and they are aligned, and they are passionate, and they are curious, then you create a team that can be able to work and grow with you. And this doesn't grow all the time. It gets somewhere that the business grow maybe more than the people. And you get others that maybe who cannot be able to move with you to the next level. So you have sometimes to make very tough decisions that for those who cannot scale and grow with the business. I've told you, as my business, I've grown myself. So the staff also need to grow themselves. So when it gets to a level that they are not growing with you, you have to really make tough decisions of either realigning them or bringing in new entries that can be able to take you to the next level.
And someone recently
Yes.
said, I think we were in the same room, that sometimes showing compassion is allowing the person to explore something that they can align with. Interesting.
Because you can be having them doing something that they are not happy about because maybe they need to be out there. So growing them and allowing them to grow, to be where they are passionate about, then they can be able to grow themselves. Then get the people who are right for you, and you're able to do that. So sometimes letting people go is really not a bad thing, but it's also creating for them a path for them to grow in a different path.
Okay. Have you found yourself in a situation where it was really difficult to let go of a personnel because, number one, maybe of a connection that you had created, or maybe because they were really talented in another area, but for some reason, one or another, you had to let go? And how did you handle that?
Yes, and I'll tell you, I've had situations where some staff of mine have come to ask to go and they are crying. Then I'm asking, okay, you're in my office, you're crying and you need to go. And they're telling me that this is the toughest decision that I had to make, madam. But I have one principle. I have one principle that if you get an opportunity that can scale you, the best I can do is to support you. I'll tell you most, because maybe not all of my staff who have left. They are still my friends. And a lot of them have left and I've mentored them in their new role or in their new responsibilities that they have done. Because I've told you I am passionate about growing others. So, and I believe that if you get a greener pasture, a greener area out there, so my responsibility as a leader is to help you grow yourself there. So I have had tough moments of those ones of like, I have been walking this journey with you. I have grown you. You fully understand where I am and where I want to go. And now you want to go. So I feel like it's a letdown, but I sit down and I say, my leadership principles allows me to let you go and also let you go as my friend and also continue growing you and in wherever it is that you go. But the thing is, when they go, they also allow me to restructure and to also maybe get new brains that help me grow to the next level. And I'll tell you that every position that a team has left, I've also learned that we have employed better and we have gotten better talents that have helped us to grow to the next level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Kenya, I think SMEs in Kenya contribute to about 80% of the GDP. Yes.
And they employ 90% of the workforce.
Of the workforce.
Yes.
Such a pretty big contribution there. And yet it's quite a very, I don't know how to call it, a landscape where it's very unpredictable as well. Mostly because of economic times, both national and international changes in regimes. And we're talking about also tax regimes, whether they are stable or unstable. We have seen sometimes where especially the SMEs, they close businesses a lot. And we also see periods where they actually are scaling and creating more jobs. For the SME sector to actually make the impact that it has the capability to make, what is required for us as a country? both the private sector and the government?
So a very interesting question, and I'll tell you, when I joined in as the chair for SME Club, before I moved to the board as the director for SME, I remember when we were doing our NDC contribution, and I was asked to give my NDC contribution for the SME sector. And you remember that time we had done SME index and all that. And I kept on asking, we are all saying that our focus is SME in this country. And why is it that we do not have a ministry of SME? And I remember that time we were trying to align ourselves. So you know how KEPSA we are working, we align with the government ministries and all that. So I used to ask, so where do we go and align the SME issue? So I'm told if we have trade issues, we go to the Ministry of Trade. And that time it was very good because we were very well aligned. I remember we had our champion, David Osiani, who was then the CAS for Industry and Trade. So we could go and we have all this vision of what we want the government to do for the SME. When we have issues around technology, we go to the ICT. So we didn't have a home as SMEs. So I kept on saying that how is it that we are saying that our priority is SME and we do not have, however, we do not have a home.
A dedicated.
Remember, SME is not a sector. SME is a level of business. So a level of business that cut across all the sectors. You need finance, you need logistics, you need all those things. But your business is at this level. So the focus of how it is that we need to focus for SME is scale, not from a sector perspective, but from a business perspective. This business is at this level. We want to scale this business at the next level. So what business support do we need to give for that business to move from where it is to the next level? So money is one, market is another one, operations, and all the things that creates a business. So from where I see it, and I see a lot of effort now that we have a ministry, is to really understand and cluster and understand that the SMEs in the agriculture sector, what they require is completely different for growth to the SMEs in the manufacturing sector, to the SMEs who are in the education sector, in health sector, in across all the sector. So we need to understand the business level in different sector, and then we see what do we need to do intentionally so that then we can give access for growth. And this is why I talked about scaling. You can never scale without money. You can never scale without market. And you cannot scale without the technology in understanding the technologies that can help you move into the next level.
True.
So we need to be intentional on what support are we creating for the SME so that we create support that speaks to them.
Okay.
We need to understand the value chain and see that, yes, we can create, and I've seen a lot of subcontracting for SMEs, for the multinationals, so that then we can outsource or we can buy from them. That is a whole sector. But do we also intend that we can subcontract them, but also create for them a path that they can also go, or they can be able to do end to end through that value chain?
Okay.
So I think it's being intentional and knowing that SME is not a sector, is a business level, is a business stage, but how do we scale all the parameters of that business to the next level?
A lesson for me as well. And I think every one of us has a vision. I think you've already mentioned one of your new entries, which I believe one of the visions that you have is, of course, to bring that to fruition. But as Mary, as the chair, as a Kenyan, what is your vision for, maybe the next, I don't know whether you want to give it a period, maybe, but what's the vision? What's next for you?
So I think for my businesses, the vision for me is to be able to scale my business across East Africa. And I want to create business that is sustainable, that gives solutions for across East Africa and hence again across Africa. But for me as Mary, how do I grow myself to be a leader for Africa, a leader, a role model, so that the others can be able to learn from my leadership, from my business entrepreneurship and the legacy of the businesses that I will have created. So for me is to be a visionary leader for Africa and hence a global leader. And I have strategically been intentional in positioning myself to be an African leader and a global leader. And why an African leader and a global leader is because it is just from those positions that I can be able to influence from my learnings and the challenges that I have encountered creating my enterprises to make it easier and contribute to a path that can scale the others. Yeah.
Okay. I think for now, as we come to a close, I want us to get into a quick fire questions. So these are things that, for instance, I'll ask you something and then you will answer quickly, like top of your mind. Don't take much time to think about it. And then at the end of it, you can also, if there's something that you want, you've been wanting to ask me, this is the chance. So number one, favorite sport?
I like to walk.
Yes. Are you an animal person or not
I'm not an animal person.
at all?
I bet I have dogs in my house, but I don't go near them. I'm not an animal person.
Favorite radio or TV show?
My favorite TV show is Geographical Skills. So I do a lot of those documentaries that are geographical so that I'm able to see. There's one that is called How Is Made. So I do a lot of learning from seeing how things are made.
Morning or night person?
I'm a morning person. I wake up early in the morning. This is the time that I take to do my reflections, to do my prayers, and to actually think strategic on where I want to take my businesses.
Favorite day of the week?
My favorite day of the week is Thursday.
Why?
Why Thursday is because I've kept Thursday to be my day. I do most of my other workings through the day, but I've reserved Thursday to be my easy day.
Favorite flowers?
I love colorful flowers. I don't know their names,
Okay.
but every time I'm doing a walk and I see nice colorful flowers, I love. I think when I see red and yellow, there are those flowers that are red and yellow. I love them.
Yes.
Yes.
A question for me?
A question for you. Why are you doing this?
To amplify our voices as a private sector. I think we have a lot of experiences that we have gained along the way. I think we have taken one from you. And I feel that for others who are watching what we are doing, this is a platform for them to get to hear those stories. So storytelling for impact.
Storytelling for impact. Who are you?
I am a mom to one, giving me a headache now, getting into the teenage years. But also, I am passionate communications person with a heart for sustainability. So I think, especially after a very short tenure in circular economy, that is where I felt my heart to be. And above that, I am a God loving, easy person. Short.
Oh, super. What is your big dream?
My big dream, I think, is to be able to tell the African story from an African context. So beyond Kenya, being able, for instance, if it's in this platform, host guests from different continents with different perspectives so that we tell our story as it is.
Okay. So I think for me, I will talk about my big vision. My big vision is to create a legacy for my family, and a legacy because I'm the first founder of my businesses. So I want to create a business that grows beyond me, several generations. I've seen businesses that have grown in this world and they were started by families. So my big dream is that I can be able to grow a business that will go beyond me, beyond my children and the other children, beyond generations. Sustainable and also circular. And circular because we are now talking about circular economy. And we're talking about circular economy from taking care of our planet and balancing our profit. By the way, last week I just got recognized by, I got a global award called the MB 100, Meaningful Business Leaders, leaders who are balancing profits and purpose.
Yes.
Profit and purpose. So circular economy for me is a way that we can be able to balance our profits and purpose.
Okay.
Because when you develop circular businesses, it means that you're careful in how it is that you consume. You're careful in the choices and the decisions that you make. Hence, you're developing being purposeful, or you are not wasting.
Yeah.
You're considering the next generation, and hence you're developing a business that is sustainable. So how do we, as leaders, embrace circularity in our businesses so that we create value for our businesses, but also be mindful for our planet?
Congratulations. And you keep doing what you're doing because it's inspiring and it's going to change lives, change businesses, and change the trajectory of our SMEs in this country. Thank you for talking to us. For those who've been listening, I don't know whether you're in this journey of entrepreneurship. Are you starting? Are you growing? Are you scaling? Are you looking for a mentor? Biri here is already on that journey and is looking forward to hear your comments. So please share them with us and we will get back to you. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.